Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Gamescom is fast approaching. 17th of August is the date, and with the LaveCon now come and gone, and only a few things disclosed there, most of which was to say wait and see for Gamescom, it's become very clear that Frontier have quite a significant few things to show there at that event. Now, let's take a bit of a speculative look and just what some of those things could be. Most of this, of course, is going to be speculation based on what we do actually know that is coming up. Now, a question on a lot of people's minds quite often is just how long Season 2 is going to be. Of course, we all know that patch 2.1 was extensively delayed, and so that has led to many queries as to just how far the other patches within this season are going to be delayed. We don't know the answer to that, but it's still possible that some of it could be, or most of it could be released by the end of this year, leaving room for Season 3. And we get into all of this in this video. So first up is patch 2.2. Most of this, I suspect, is what we will see featured on Gamescom, but Gamescom is the largest industry event for Europe and is the biggest event that Frontier attend, the event they usually announce all of their upcoming releases at. Last year at Gamescom they announced Horizons, and whilst this year I don't see them announcing a new season, there's still plenty of room for them showing upcoming content. And if we take a look back at EGX last year, Frontier released a phenomenal amount of information and footage, as well as screenshots as to what was going to come up. Now, Frontier are not at EGX this year, so that means that their one shot is at Gamescom. So first up then is patch 2.2 with ship-launched fighters, passenger missions, tourist locations, as well as some new ships, the Dolphin and the Beluga. The two new ships are suspected rather than confirmed, but it seems rather without doubt that you can't have passenger missions without passenger ships. And the ship-launched fighters are suspected to be the Condor and the Imperial Fighter, both of which are currently in the game in the CQC or Arena mode. Frontier have also said that there's going to be a player journal in the game, and what this will do is write data to a local file that can be read by third-party apps. Now, this isn't quite the API that most app developers wanted, but it does go a long way to giving us access to a huge volume of information which could make third-party tools significantly better. So for me at least, it's with 100% certainty that I can speculate that we will see at Gamescom fighters being launched from ships. Frontier will also show us some of images and perhaps some footage of the Dolphin and the Beluga as well. But do keep in mind that with ships, traditionally Frontier have kept them in reserve, waiting for the release of the patch to actually allow them to be fully revealed. Now, as I mentioned earlier, with this being the only large event that Frontier are attending this year, I fully expect to see at least a year's worth of announcements all rolled up into one event, just as we saw at EGX last year. So that will take us to see some content from patch 2.3, the Commanders, which of course is multi-crew. And it also features the avatar creation for our own Commanders. I feel it quite likely then that we will see the Commander creator in action, at least a little bit, which would lead also to us seeing co-pilots in the other seats of various ships. Now, at this point, no one knows what patch 2.4 is going to contain. There's a lot of speculation that it will contain aliens or the Thargoids, but my gut feeling is that we're going to see the aliens long before patch 2.4, and that patch 2.4 will actually tie into Season 3. Of course, I could be completely wrong on both accounts, but that's basically how I see things unfolding. The big question then is whether or not we'll see any announcement of Season 3 at Gamescom. Now, for me personally, I feel that may be pushing things a little bit because the content for Season 2 is not even halfway complete yet. And for Frontier to announce Season 3 at this early might be pushing things a little bit, might be a little bit of a bad publicity move. But that said, I still feel that we could possibly see some hints towards the future content, such as characters moving around ships. As with every patch always released, you have the headline features, such as Engineers had the Engineers of course, Power Play had Power Play and so on. But with each patch there's always a whole bunch of undisclosed features that only get announced nearer the time of release. So with all of these patches we can fully expect to see a whole slew of new content. Some of these that we do know about that have actually been spoken of, at least hinted at, are new station interiors and ship summoning. And some of these features have actually been confirmed in an indirect way by Frontier's recent release of some of the details of the upcoming player journal log. They show some of the parameters that are encoded into used by the external third-party apps, and they talk about things such as this. You can see some summary of this on the screen right now. 10.4 talks about the dock fighter. When written, when docking a fighter back to the mothership. And it goes on like this, explaining what these parameters can be used for. Launch fighter for launching fighters. Restock vehicle is used when purchasing an SRV or a fighter. Power play changes talk about nominating a system for expansion, power play salaries, and the ability to vote for which system to expand into next. And then there's a parameter for vehicle switch, where you can switch between the mothership and your fighter. And there's also some other parameters as well, one called shipyard sell. And this is quite interesting because it talks about selling the ship from another system, something we can't currently do. There's a shipyard transfer, which allows the ability to transfer ships from another station. So all of those things are essentially confirmed because they're all a part of the player log, a part of the information that Frontier have actually disclosed. And I'm pretty sure we'll see this stuff in action during Gamescom. What other things will we see? Well, from personal things I'd like to see, I'd love to see some hints towards station storage, something that in my mind and in many people's opinion is essential for the continued functioning of the engineers. I'd like to see volcanism. That's planets with active lava volcanoes as well as active ice volcanoes. And although I don't think we'll see this at Gamescom, those two things, the active planets, actually potentially lead into atmospheric planets as well, because volcanism is very much a part of what can potentially contribute towards a planet's atmosphere. Now, I don't think that atmospheric planets will ever be a headline feature as landing was with Horizons. I think Season 3 will be walking around and it will continue to see the expansion of additional planets that we can land on, which would be basic rocky planets with atmospheres. But I think a reveal of any of that is still a long way off yet. But I'm really hoping that volcanism at least is on the cards for a Gamescom reveal. And last but not least, it keeps coming up the question as to surface mining. This is something that David Braben has spoke about before. It's a question that keeps getting asked to Frontier again and again, and they have said it's something they're looking into and something they'd like to do. Along with the possibility of unattended surface mining, something that was a feature within Frontier Elite 2. So with Gamescom now only a matter of weeks away, I'm very much looking forward to Frontier revealing the future of Elite Dangerous. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.